Hi, this is Jack from the Spitfire Audio Customer Experience team. In this video, I'm going to be giving a demonstration of the controls on the Percussion Swarm interface. To load a patch from this library, click the Instruments tab from the Libraries pane. Anything with a .nki file extension can be double-clicked or clicked and dragged into the right-hand side of Kontakt. The first view that loads is the Simple view. This gives us a bare minimum number of controls in order to operate the library. The first of which being the Easy Mix, which allows us to create a quick blend of the microphone signals between a close, drier sound and a further, more distant sound, by either moving this forwards or backwards. The first of the expression controls is Dynamics, mapped to CC number 1. This control enables the user to crossfade the library between a softer, quieter sound to a louder, more aggressive sound. The variation control, mapped to CC number 21, allows the user to eat into the sample, triggering a different loop point in the sample. The reverb toggle allows you to increase or decrease the reverb of the patch. Expression, mapped to CC 11, is just an overall volume control. This operates within the master volume of the library and should be used in combination with Dynamics. At the bottom of the simple view, we have the different articulations which can be clicked to change the different articulations. For example, in this particular patch, we have the soft sticks, or we have a long pitched cloud type of sound. Clicking the spanner to the left of the Easy Mix allows us to access the expert view, where there is a wider range of controls. The first section is the mic mix, so this is where we can adjust the blend of microphones individually. Each of these signals does a slightly different thing. So SC, the first microphone, is a super close sound. CV is the close valve sounds. The middle microphone is for a mid-mix. And then we have the T for the tree microphone, the O for the outriggers, and we also have an A for the ambient microphones. Any one of these microphones can be clicked at the bottom to send to a different output of Kontakt. Please note you need to set up multiple outputs of Kontakt before this function will work. To the above right hand side of the microphone mixer there are 4 different options, the first of which being the velocity controls. This is how we can change the velocity response of the library to your MIDI controller, and you can choose from 5 different options. The control just to the right of this enables us to control stereo width and stereo panning for each individual microphone. So for example, for the close valve microphone, I can increase the stereo width and also change the panning, and then changing to the tree to reduce the stereo width if I wanted to. The music note symbol to the right of this enables us to preserve a microphone mix when swapping articulations, or have a custom microphone blend for each individual articulation. The floppy disk to the right of the microphone mixer enables the user to reset the mix settings, or it allows them to copy and paste the settings between different patches or load and save custom mix presets. To demonstrate the copy and mix options, if I created a quick custom blend for this particular patch and I loaded up, say, the marimbas patch, and I wished the marimbas to have the same microphone blend as the glass glockenspiel at the top, I could go to the floppy disk, copy mix settings, and then on the patch below, paste those mix settings directly below. To the right of the microphone mixer, we have the memory saving options, which is where we can choose from a variety of presets. Choosing from these will unload certain articulations and microphones from the RAM, so you can run these on smaller systems. So if I was to swap to laptop, notice how the microphones have become unloaded, and also one of the articulations has become unloaded from RAM with these little toggles at the bottom of the articulation and the microphone mixer. The Purge Unused button, when unchecked, loads available content to RAM, which means there'll be no loading times should I want to add in any additional content. So if I was to now load in the tree microphone and the ambient microphone, notice the memory at the top of Kontakt hasn't increased. The transpose option allows you to change the sample range. Note this will actually change the samples being triggered. CC map velocity is only for the shorter articulations, and what this does is it allows the shorter articulations to respond to the dynamics fader at the top right hand corner instead of the velocity sensitivity of your keyboard. The round robin options to the right enable you to thicken the sound or borrow from neighbouring zones. So for example, the neighbouring zone allows you to increase the round robin count by using samples from other note ranges. To layer up the round robins will trigger multiple samples on top of each other, so you get a thicker sound. Please read the manual for further instructions on each one of these controls. The round robin count allows you to increase the number of round robins for a particular sample. The reset from option enables the user to place key switches on the keyboard. So looking at the keyboard on the bottom, we can see that we're placing red key switches on the bottom. If there's a particular round robin that you like, you can re-trigger that round robin by selecting one of the red switches, which is in relation to the number of round robins. If you increase or decrease the round robins, notice how the reset option has decreased its number of key switches. The reset on transport option doesn't apply in Kontakt standalone mode like we have open at this moment in time, but if you hit play in your DAW, the round robins will reset each time you hit play. The controls on the right hand side are the expression controls again. However, we have two different options, which is the tightness control and also the release control. Tightness only applies to the short articulations and will tighten up the sound or loosen it off, and release will also emphasize the release triggers within the library, so this only affects the long articulations. Moving to the bottom left hand corner of the library, we have the keyboard shimmier. This allows us to place the generic key switches onto the keyboard by holding and dragging to the right. Notice now when I change one of these, the articulations at the bottom of the interface are changing. The CC option, when right-clicked, shows the UACC standard control. This can be reassigned to a control of your choice, but by default it is 32, and I recommend keeping this at 32. This allows you to change what MIDI CC UACC switching responds to. The padlock option to the left of the articulation stanza enables you to change which type of articulation changing the library responds to and is locked to. For the shorter patches, we also have the ostinatum. The ostinatum is a rhythm engine and sequencer. I recommend checking out our ostinatum video for more information on this particular engine. From the warped folder at the bottom of the patches list, we have a whole range of synthesized sounds using the Mercury engine. The patches have been created from the natural recordings of the library and have been processed either through a form of granular synthesis or effects pedals or outboard processing. By clicking the camera icon next to the patch name, we can then load various types of snapshots which will change the sound. These are another form of custom preset. Moving through this interface, at the very top left hand corner we have the low pass and high pass filters. By decreasing the low pass filter, we're going to be attenuating the high frequencies and vice versa with the high pass filter. Each of these can be right clicked and we could learn MIDI CC automation data for these controls, likewise with anything in this library. Directly below the envelope section we have the ADSR, which stands for Attack, Decay, Sustain and Release. This is the amplitude envelope of the library and it will allow you to control the shape of the sound. The Portamento Glide option, when unchecked, won't do anything. However, if you check this, the control to the right of it will allow you to set the time duration for how long it takes for the note transition to portamento between each other. To the right of these controls we have the wobbles. Now the wobbles are standard low frequency oscillators or LFOs. These enable us to control the volume of the sound via clicking in the box and dragging up and down. This will change the speed in which the volume is modulated. The percentage of which the modulation occurs is via the slider at the bottom. This is the same for the following two controls to the right, which are the LFOs for pitch and also the filter. To the right of these is the yoke control. Now this offers more MIDI CC mapping, and you can control this to any effect that you want. By default, the Y-axis is set to the modulation wheel of your MIDI controller, and you can assign what that particular thing is controlling by clicking the dynamics on the side here. Effects at the bottom are where we can toggle on and off what effects are applied to this particular patch. And if we wanted to see more information on this, we can hold down the command button on a Mac or control on Windows and left click, and we can then see a further range of controls for that particular effect. So now I've opened up the specific controls for the delay option at the very bottom of the interface. We can assign one of these also to the yoke control. So on the X of the yoke, I'm going to set this to delay. Now once you've done this, on the right hand side of the delay option, you can then assign in further detail what you'd like to change by using the modulation wheel. In this case, I'll use the panning of the delay. If you have any further questions about this library, please do get in touch with us at spitfireaudio.com/support. Thanks.